And here we are at plot 52. Hi guys, it's virtually the end of August, this bank holiday Monday, and giving you a little update. Now we'll start here. I planted some leeks. We've got an attack of weeds, but that won't take long. They're all surface weeds, nothing really difficult. 5 or 10 minutes with the hoe. And behind that we've got some, I think most of those are cauliflowers in there. And on this end may have a couple of Swedes in there or something a little bit different. And we'll stay on this side. Still got 2 rows of spuds. They're the second earlies. They got to come up, so we're going to dig all those up and put them into store. And then on my brassica row we've got some we got a little bit of Swedes. They're not too bad. They tend to go a bit like that sometimes, but I think it's because I may have them too close, so we'll sort those out. We've got some nice Savoy cabbage. Those Savoy cabbages are coming along nicely. They're not quite ready yet. The round cabbage, which we had for dinner for roast yesterday, they're virtually all done. And the broccoli, the second lot coming through, we sort of took the heads off, and then you sort of find you just get these little mini broccolis just sort of coming on. But we had some nice heads earlier in the month, and then we've got Brussels sprouts. You always get a little bit of black fly on these, but if you look in sort of close, the actual sprouts are developing. My Swiss chard, I keep picking it and it keeps growing. It is prolific. I've certainly planted far too much. Probably a quarter of what I've done would have been okay. Now we've got turnips in this bed here, and they're all doing well. And my peas I've allowed to dry off, and they're sweet peas in there. So we've got we open those up, then we should have some peas that we can plant for next year. I'm going to keep those, keep a few of those. And the strawberries have done well because they're starting to spread, and you can see I started off with about 12 strawberry plants here, which was 2 years ago, and the runners are going now. All the lettuces are bolted, so they've all got to come up. There's a couple of tomato plants there which I grew in the greenhouse, which are sort of kind of a bit of an afterthought. They are left. I picked all my onions. My onions are drying out in the shed, and the shallots. We've got a few spring onions there. I planted carrots in there, and I didn't do too bad with the carrots. See, I picked those the other day, and then you know, that's the sort of standard sort of kind of thing that happens to carrots, but they were very tasty, real carrot taste, carroty carrots. Now you can see these were the Brussels sprouts that were put on a little bit earlier, and you can see they are definitely going to be ready. The later ones are more sort of with Christmas in mind. Let's have a little look on the back. Got my beetroots. There's a few tomatoes in there. Yeah, I've got my beetroots here. Let's have a little pull. Yeah, there we go. Nice sized roots, beetroots. There's some smaller ones in there. Should have thinned them out a little bit more. Yeah, but they're not too bad in there. There's someone who likes to eat the greenery, so I'll drop that off onto the house. Now in this cold frame I planted some sweet potatoes. There's just 2 sweet potato plants, and they've grown really well. I'm not going to dig them up yet. I'm going to leave them another month. Inside the cold frame they'll be fine. Get quite a bit of heat in there. Don't need a lot of water. I cleared the back sort of down, but the bioweed is still persisting to grow. There's a few nasturtiums up there. I'm going to plant some lavateria up there, I think, because lavateria will actually give me a nice sort of backdrop, and it grows prolifically. Get my brother-in-law down with the saw, and we're going to take that tree out there. We're going to really cut that back, and these 4 trees here have all died, so I think they're going to be cut down, and I'm going to lie them down just to sort of act as a little bit of a wall, if anything. Right, fruit cage. I do some raspberries, and I don't have a lot of success. I don't quite know why. I mean, they're not too bad, but I think I need to sort of kind of have a bit of a sort out in my fruit cage. This fruit tree hasn't produced any fruit. Not quite sure even what it is at the moment. Still a few blackberries left. Now you can see this is my grapevine, and you can see I must have about 20 lots of grapes now. They're only small, they're not seedless. I'm going to try one of those. Now I wouldn't say they were sweet, but they're not that sharp either. More raspberries there. I'll pick a few of those. They're okay actually. There's the cherry tree. You can see through the wire. I've got my plums there. They need picking as well. So these are the fruit. Now that all the blackcurrants have fruited, I'm going to chop about 1/3 of that away, and then I'll just keep it under control. So now we've got sweet corn. The sunflowers are finished. You get a better look at the I've got a lone pumpkin there, just starting to go yellow, and there's my plums, good few dozen there. And then we've got the sweet corn. As most people know, you grow them in a block, and then you sort of shake them, and then they sort of fall down these bits and make the cob. I got very small cobs in there, not great, but we got something. Got another courgette flower. Courgettes on here. Not really. They've not been too bad, but they haven't really had enough water in, I'll be honest. Once we finished lockdown and went back to work, it's just crazy in my profession. That of being a hairdresser, and it was very busy. I've got a few apples on that little tree there, and you can really see the grapes better sort of here. So we got loads of bunches of grapes all, and there's quite a few others in there mixed in with the blackberries. There's still a few blackberries ready to ripen there, so give those another couple of weeks. But yeah, lots of grapes. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with those. And there's the plums on the other side. Now, the runner beans. Still flowering and still producing beans. Now we always end up with more than you need. Able to share a few out. I've feel as though it's next year will be the time to move the structure. Partly because this is the 3rd year that I've grown them on the structure here, and if I'm honest, although that's good, I mean look, they've grown right to the top, it's not been a really good harvest. I mean, size wise, that's a Benchmaster. You know, that's around about 9 inches long, and that's quite tender. That's a nice runner bean. And you see the main advantage of growing the beans on the A-plane, where it's sort of inverted, is that the runner bean sort of hang on the outside. You can sort of see that, and they're easier to pick. You can see all the beans sort of hanging. It's difficult to sort of get the view. If you come sort of this way, you've got the beans hanging on the outside. And what's another good thing with this is that in the middle there's a void. I can put my camera in the middle, and you put your head inside, and you can then get to the other side. So when they grow together, they're invisible, some of the runner beans, and you just can't get them all. Now I will leave a good 2 dozen really big mature beans like this one, bulging. I will leave those. They will totally dry out, and then in October we'll come down and we'll separate them. Now all the beans will be collected, and then we'll grow them for next year. And you can see those, once they start getting sort of obvious, like that one, that's a decent size, but when they're in there, they're hard and stringy, and my wife doesn't like them like that. So they're going to be staying on. Now we've got French beans, they're the black French beans. Now that's a new growth, sort of, that is the new growth, and that's where the blackberries are going to be on next year. So the likes of these ones, the old ones, we cut the old ones out and we'll keep all the new. Now you get different types of runners. You get the runners with the big gauzes on, the big, what do you call those? The name's eluded me. It will come back to me later. So yeah, we will have a go at the axe, because this is starting to get a bit carried away. You can see there's some more grapes there. They look even riper already. Oh, nice. The last one there. So yeah, that's my neighbour's allotment. Got a lovely lot of strawberries, and you can sort of see, I've got a quick scan around. Everything's grown. Don't know the name of those tall things, but everyone's allotments are really sort of coming to full harvest and really sort of beyond. So that gives you a really good. Still got a few flowers on my pencil mint. I think I'm saying that wrong, but I think that's what it's called. But you can see at the end of my runner beans, they didn't quite fill out the stakes at the top on this side. So I think next year we're gonna move the structure over to where I've got the leeks growing at the moment, and then we'll have a swap round. We'll grow potatoes on this area, and we'll do all the runner beans and everything over here, and then we'll bring some of those root vegetables sort of forward, like the parsnips and the carrots, and we'll have the brassicas in the 3 raised beds at the back. So you can see my arch has been totally covered now. I put that up about 3 years ago, and they were just very small individual plants, about 18 inches, and we've got a clematis on one side, and I'm not sure of the name, but I will come down in the autumn and film this, and all those leaves will turn red, and it is a wonder to look at. It's beautiful. I really enjoy the sort of bit of colour that brings. Still got a bit of lavender, but that needs cutting back. So you can see the allotment, there's a fair bit to do, but over the next week we'll get it done, and we're going to start with digging up the spuds and doing the weeding, and I think that's my target today. Everything can't be done together. I mean, quick look over my neighbour's allotment. These runner beans are amazing. You can see that it's very full, and whether that's because he's got the A-frame and everything, it's all growing together, whereas the inverted A-frame, it's actually, as you can sort of see, it pans it out. So there's still quite a lot of greenery there, but yeah, the brassicas and the curly kale and parsnips over there, and a really good lot of raspberries in my neighbour's allotment. Spends a bit more time down here due to the fact that he is actually retired, and you can see his lovely tomatoes there. They are a different variety that I wouldn't know the name of, but they almost look like peppers, and they are a lovely size, aren't they? They are really nice. And those were donated by a friend. They look like they'd gone over, but they've produced some really unusual tomatoes. Maybe they are peppers, I'm not quite sure, but I think they're possibly a plum tomato. But yeah, it's good. So yeah, that's enough. Long video. Give you a good update. If you like and subscribe, more viewers, share my allotment with more people, that'd be nice. But main thing, it's doing the filming is just making me enjoy the allotment a little bit more, and this year's been a fairly good year with what with lockdown, but because of my sort of catching up with work, the last 6 weeks have been almost non-stop, and the nights are drawing out, and you just don't get down here quite so often. But as it's a bank holiday Monday today, and I sort of feel, hello, I feel that you should spend it down at the allotment, down doing your gardening. Now, I've really enjoyed doing my videos this year, and we're away for a little while on holiday. I'll do one more in the end of September, just as a sort of final hurrah, and then we'll sort of bed the allotment down, because once the clocks change I won't have the time to be able to come down. So it's goodbye from me for now. Onwards and upwards, that's what I always say. Keep positive, stay safe. Bye.